pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. You may be seated.
Good morning, students, families, faculty, and board members. Welcome to the 2019 inaugural graduation for Triangle Math and Science Academy. We're thrilled that you are all here with us to celebrate this joyous occasion. We would like to recognize our special guests who are here on the stage with us today. Please stand when I say your name. Dr. Kenan Gündoğdu, Board President, Mrs. Liz Firm, Board Vice President, Mr. Carlton Common, our board member, Mr. Chad Porter, our keynote speaker today, Mr. Karaduman, our superintendent, Mr. Eray Idil, Deputy Superintendent for TMSA Schools, Mr. Kara, our principal, Nikita Flanko, salutatorian, Zahra Hassan, valedictorian, and Sheena Dean, legacy student for TMSA. First, we would like to also take a moment to thank all of the efforts of our graduation committee at this time. Thank you to the parents, especially Mrs. Dean, this year's chair, and to the faculty, who have worked endlessly. Today is a special day for everyone. I'm going to go ahead, move on to the next one, which is my speech, and then we're going to move on. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Salih Tuncer. I'm the high school dean at TMSA. I've been with TMSA for the past 6 years. I was actively involved and have been in charge of the start of a high school program for the past 4 or 5 years. We have been dreaming about this day for the past 4 years. I had literally written 4 versions of my speech today. The first version is the one that I started writing 4 years ago. I was going to talk about how we started, how we didn't know what we were getting into. I was going to talk about the memories with Malcolm, Nikita, Elias at CLP camps, our first AP classes with Zahra or Ayush. I was going to talk about soccer games that we played outside. I was going to talk about the write-ups over silly things. I was going to talk about the dress code hoodies, cell phones. I was going to talk about the Wake Tech classes, how we started with that, or course selection process. I was going to talk about Mrs. Diaz, who is also here today, Mrs. Schiller, Miss Jackson, and all those things that we went through. But that version, so I was going to talk about a lot of things, but that version was too lengthy, and I think we don't have time for that. So I said maybe I should write something else that is shorter and more inspirational, and I started writing my second version. So for my second version, I did a Google search on most inspirational talks for graduation. I watched many videos and included greatest quotes. I was going to talk about the beauty of diversity, hardworking, respect, and caring. I was going to talk about the obstacles in life and how to overcome those obstacles, and how being a good person is more important than the grades. I was going to talk about how short life is and the importance of spending time with your loved ones and doing the things that you love. However, I have witnessed over the time that you have accomplished and demonstrated those skills in your surroundings to us. So it will be redundant, and I'm not the most influential speaker anyway. We have one here for today. So, and I should have inspired you and influenced you and all that time when we were in the same building in the past 4 or 5 years, or maybe 7 years. As a matter of fact, many of you have taught me a lot about those skills over the time. You have created or helped us create a nurturing environment for people like me and set the bar very high for the students who are following behind. So I decided not to go with that version. Instead, I want to talk to you on behalf of my high school team who made this day possible over 4 years, 4 or 5 years. Want to talk to you things that are more real, genuine, and authentic to us, to TMSA high school students. So on behalf of our teachers or staff or anybody who has been at the TMSA, we're so grateful to you all that you let us be part of your lives. We're grateful you joined the TMSA family and helped us establish one of the best high schools in the Triangle area in which no one has failed. You have proven to us today that we chose the right thing to be an educator and provided us with the confidence to continue on. And in this version, I just decided to present you with a bouquet of some tears, sweat, a lot of hard work, loss of sleep, dedication, good mornings, welcomes, warm smiles, headaches, celebrations, cheers, admirations, sense of proudness, and accomplishments from the staff through my words. I want to thank you all for letting us sense all these feelings and go through all that. We will never forget you. We are proud of you, and you are one of the best things that happened to us. Finally, I want to thank to the board who supported us, allowed us the opportunity. I want to thank to the parents who trusted their kids' education with us. I know it was very risky. I am hoping to look at you today and confidently ask you, did we do a good job? It is not only your children who are graduating today, it is also me, Ms. Favreau, Ms. Jackson, Ms. Ford, Ms. Wall, Mr. Smith, Mr. Kaplan, Ms. Ingram, Ms. Wood, Mrs. Molina, all these people that I haven't mentioned the names, all that high school team who are graduating today with this first graduating charter group. The class of 2019, congratulations. You are a dream come true. We're proud of you. Thank you for letting all us graduate successfully. At this time, I would like to introduce or welcome Mr. Ben Karaduman, our superintendent of TMSA schools, to the stage.
Students, parents, teachers, board members, and distinguished guests. Good morning and welcome to the very first graduation ceremony of Triangle Math and Science Academy. It is very difficult to be the first, a pioneer. Try to accomplish something never been done before you. You literally paved the way for the ones to follow you. Yes, class of 2019, you did it. You have shown the people how the outcome of TMSA education program would be. And you became the first bouquet of 41 flowers to be picked up from the TMSA garden. Congratulations to you all. Very well done. Mom and dads, let's close our eyes and make a journey to 18 years back for a moment. Just think about the day that you welcome your little baby who is in cap and gown today. Remember the feelings that the first time you had your little one in your arms and then gave the first kiss. I believe that since that day, that little baby has been your first priority and you did everything for him or her to have a better life and a brighter future. You started dreaming about colleges, reputable jobs, and anything that parents would like to have for their child. Since you are here now, I believe that you did a great job and you should be proud of yourself because your baby is graduating from high school. I also believe that one of the best things that you've done was definitely choosing the Triangle Math and Science Academy as a school to make your dreams come true. On behalf of TMSA family, board of directors, administration, teachers and staff, I thank you very much for making that choice and giving us a chance to touch your valuable children's lives. We truly appreciate you believing and trusting us. Now, we have 3,000 on the waiting list to get into school. But just go back, downtown Raleigh, a building didn't look like a school, no matching furniture in the classroom, and then there are a couple people who are crazy enough to challenge the public education system, stating that we're gonna do more with less resources. That time, the decision was very, very valuable. And I really thank those 5 parents who are here among us that believed in us and then trust in us. Now, class of 2019, you're not little kids anymore. It's your turn to take responsibility and make your parents and teachers proud. You need to make your parents' dream come true with your bigger dreams. You need to dream big, but with smart goals. If you do not have set goals, they're going to be just dreams. Do not afraid to fail. Failing is not the problem. If you do not try, that is the problem. If you cannot succeed for the first time, no problem. Learn from your mistakes, try to do better next time, but never give up. Look at the success stories of Einstein and Jack Ma. One is the father of physics. who was not accepted to college for the first time. The other one is the founder of Alibaba. He was rejected 8 times by the Harvard University. He even couldn't get a simple job at KFC in China. But now he owns one of the biggest online trade platforms in the world. You should never give up. Do not hide behind excuses. Think out of box. Always try to make impossible possible. If there is a will, there is a way. You need to be confident, determined, and of course, work very hard. Last but not least, do not stop learning. You need to improve yourself every day. Tomorrow should not be equal to today. There is always a place for improvement. By doing so, we believe that you will be contributing not just to the people of the United States, but also the people of the whole world. With the education that you received from TMSA, we also believe that you will be serving your country as a valuable citizen in the best way that you can and make your mom and dad very proud. Once again, I congratulate all of you from the bottom of my heart and wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Thank you very much. At this time, we welcome TMSA Principal, wonderful Mr. Kara, to the podium.
Dear families, thank you for joining us in this memorable moment, which is a milestone that's going to be remembered as a historical moment in Triangle Math and Science Academy's history. I want to thank Dr. Keenan, Mr. Kamen, Mrs. Firm, and the rest of the founding board members, because without them, without their effort, without their application to DPI, we wouldn't be here. First of all, we should, thank them and then appreciate them. All right, dear history makers, class of 2019, our beloved 41 students. Actually, I put a parenthesis in here because this is a special number in Turkish. We say bless you 41 times sometimes when we see something blessable like this. Bless you guys 41 times. Today is your day. Today, you are evolving into another degree of being a TMSA family member. So you're staying as our member. I want to call you the believers since you believed in us and stayed with us until the end of your journey of K through 12 education. You are the ones who started the TMSA legacy. You helped us creating the collegiate environment with participating in many programs and even initiating them. And I appreciate you all too. Let's give a round of applause to these guys one more time. 41 shining stars, here's my 2 cents for you. Keep growing, but don't forget your roots. Every flower has a unique root and a different color. Love each other and celebrate your differences. Keep it in your pocket. All right, dear families and TMSA staff members, this successful story wouldn't be achieved without your collaboration. I want to call this a perfect triangle standing on a tripod of students, family members, staff members, and our board members. And we have seen this success. I want to tell you a statistic from my own life. I've been in these charter schools for 17 years now, starting as a science teacher, middle school and in high school chemistry teacher. I have never seen more than 15 students graduating in a charter class. 41 is your success. Thank you, one more time. I want to congratulate our graduating class of 2019 one more time and wish them a great life full of happiness, achievements with their beloved ones. At this time, I would like to invite Mrs. Firm, our Board of Directors Vice President, to the podium to share a few words with us. Please, thank you.
Good morning, TMSA family. I say that because I truly feel like it's a family. Congratulations to Triangle Math and Science first graduating class, 2019. Today is an exciting and historic day for our school. I would like to take this opportunity to thank someone who's been instrumental in making TMSA what it is today. Dr. Keenan Gundogdu, President of our Board of Directors. Many of you may know that Keenan is one of the founders, as discussed before, of TMSA and has been with TMSA for the past 9 years, and 6 of those as board president. As of today, sadly, Keenan will be stepping down from that role. He's earned his retirement tenfold, I believe. Keenan, it is incredible the dedication, caring, and passion you have poured into TMSA for the past 9 years. All this while maintaining your full-time position as a tenured NC State professor of physics. You volunteered all of this time for TMSA's benefit while running your successful physics lab, publishing leading research, and mentoring the next generation of physicists at NC State University. Quite remarkable and admirable, I think. Keenan, you have volunteered tirelessly for thousands upon thousands. I actually would like to calculate that. We should do that sometime, how many hours. Many on Saturdays, Sundays, and evenings on behalf of TMSA students and staff for ensuring better salary and benefits for our staff, maintaining a rigorous curriculum for students, and writing bylaws and policies and everything in between that is required to operate a successful charter school in North Carolina that is held in high regard at the state level. What started in a small, cramped building at Moore Square in downtown Raleigh with under 200 students, K through 6, under the leadership of Mr. Tecton, I guess many of you remember Mr. Tecton, has grown, look at us now, K through 12 and over 800 students. Amazing. Keenan, you are amazing and we're very proud. At this time, will you join me at the podium? During your leadership, TMSA has not only grown, it's thrived. Triangle Math and Science Academy has maintained an A+ grade for the past 5 years, and we have been financially sound under your leadership, which is no small task. I will personally miss working with you directly on the board, and our phone calls well into the evening after dinners, and our families and my little ones screaming in the background. I wish you all the best in the future, and since you are a TMSA parent and a friend of ours and mine, I know you'll still be around. You can't let us go. It's my pleasure to present you with this plaque in recognition of your dedication, efforts, and contributions to TMSA and our 2 sister schools, Triad and Queen City. You have supported over 2,000 students and 200 employees. That's pretty remarkable, I think. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
So thank you, but today is actually not about me, about these 41 students and their parents. But thank you so much. I'm humbled with this introduction. It was actually done, everything achieved together as a team with many different people. So thank you so much. So I have a small speech too. And I see some of our old employees here, which really is touching me. This is one of the moments that I'm touched from my heart. I was actually crying when they were coming into the podium to their seats. So I really thank you so much for this recognition. So it has been an honor to serve in TMSA board. I do appreciate all the support and hard work from all of our board members. Mrs. Firm, Mr. Atay, Mr. Tombak, Mr. Kamen, and Mr. Abdullayev, and all the past board members who actually helped us opening those 3 schools. Thank you. And I also appreciate the hard work and efforts of TMSA staff members and the parents for their trust in TMSA. The school is a combined effort of many people. I would like to recognize Mr. Tekten. He's our first principal. I actually spent a lot of hours with him before we didn't have any building, writing the proposal, going after some support letters from community leaders and writing the proposal and applying. It was amazing days, actually. So there have been a couple of occasions that really touched my heart in the school. Today is definitely one of them, and I'm stepping down from the board of directors because I think it is a time. It is the best for the school too. But it's also the time that we celebrate our first graduates. This is an important success and milestone for TMSA. So congratulations to all teachers, all staff members, especially the high school team. Their leaders are Ms. Favro, Mr. T, Mr. Kaplan, Mr. Kara. So I would like to thank all of them for achieving today. Thank you. And more importantly, the staff members, the parents of the first ever graduates of TMSA. You are not only a class of 2019, you are the first ever graduates of this particular school. You are the best graduates so far, actually. So I would like to tell you about another moment that touched my heart when we were in this journey of TMSA. It was our first year. I don't know how many you were in that small building, but we basically had 276 students in that building. And Mr. Tekten used to do some parent nights very oftenly to inform parents about the school stuff. And one of those family nights, at the end of the night, parents were leaving. One of the parents approached me and she said, "This is an amazing school." I asked her, why does she think so? She said, "Look at these kids, look at the parents. They are all from different backgrounds and cultures and ethnicities." And she continued, "I am sure my kid is not going to be discriminated in the school. It's a school for everybody." That was the moment that I realized TMSA has an impact, or has a potential impact, that is much bigger than we imagined as the founders of the school. TMSA is a strong family with its diverse student body. I also appreciate that over the years, while the school grown from 276 students to 900 students, we still keep our close relationship like a small family. So while stepping down from the board, I would like to request from the parents and the TMSA staff that we should do everything to keep this TMSA family relationship. I also have one small but important request from the graduates. In every country, in every state, there are some high schools that has very strong traditions. These high schools exist and they are known, they are very popular because they are there for the last 100 years, and their graduates are important figures like authors, politicians, or well-known scientists. So definitely our school, TMSA, is not one of those. Okay. We just graduated our first students, but I'm gonna tell you, it is possible to create a school with strong traditions. The thing is, it is not in our hands, it's not in board's hand, it's not the staff, it's not the parents that's gonna do that. It is you. This is a task that we would like to deliver on you. The whole story of TMSA is not about the board, it's not about the teachers, it's not about the parents, it's all about you. And just because you are graduating, this story should not end. Our request is, please don't be a stranger. Come back. When you are in the college, come back and tell us what should we do better to prepare next TMSA graduates. What worked, what did not. Come back and mentor your brothers and sisters in high school and tell them about your college experience. After you graduate from the college, if you're a teacher, come back and teach at TMSA. When you make a family, send your kids to TMSA. Volunteer in your school. And again, if you're around, please join the board and lead this school to the next generations. Make sure you catch up with your friends that you made in TMSA. It is all possible. It's very possible to make a strong tradition out of the school, but it's all in your hands. All I request is actually to make a strong alumni. We are all very proud of you. We are looking forward to hear more about your successes. Please keep in touch, and congratulations to the class of 2019, the best ever graduated class from TMSA. So at this moment, I'm going to invite someone that I personally like her and her parents, Sheena Dean. She is the legacy speaker.
To the Board of Directors, Central Office, to my principal, Mr. Kara, faculty, graduates, family, and friends, good morning. My name is Sheena Dean, and I'm so elated to stand before you today. Today marks a day that will live in infamy. Today is the day that the inaugural class of the Triangle Math and Science Academy will receive a diploma that is the key to their future endeavors. Today is the day that the class of 2019 continues to make history at TMSA. I want to tell you a story about a young girl who beat the odds. This young girl grew up in a family where both parents were educated and successful in their professions. Growing up, this young girl's parents always stressed the importance of education and how she should take any opportunity God allows her to receive. One day, this young girl and her family went driving. She didn't know where they were going, but she was just enjoying the ride. Where her parents came out of a building, they wanted her and her brother to come inside the building. As they did, two professional men and women stood there, delighted to see them. The young girl's parents announced that they would be going to a new school, and the two greeters were the principal and the administrative assistant, Mrs. Wood. This was the start of the TMSA experience. The young girl was very nervous about going to a new school. All her friends were at another school, and she didn't know anyone at this new school. And the worst part to this young girl, she had to wear uniforms. On the first day of this new school, the young student was so scared. She's always been an outgoing and friendly person, but she did not know what to say to 44 other people who were feeling the same feelings. During lunch, she was scoping around to find a place to sit to eat her lunch. She found a table with two other girls who had an extra seat open next to them. She asked to sit down, and they allowed her to. And while lunch went on, they started to talking to each other and found out that they had common things that they liked and disliked. This was the start of a long-lasting friendship that still stands to this day. A year or two went by, and the young girl still continued to stay at TMSA. Her parents started to notice that she wasn't doing so well in her studies. She wasn't doing horrible, but her parents knew the potential that this young girl had and that she was not reaching. They decided that it was time for her to be tested for any learning disabilities. The young girl did not know what the tests were for. She was just told to do her best. The test results came back and showed that the young girl had a mild attention deficit hyperactive disorder, ADHD. This was the start of the young girl's downfall. Colin Powell said once, "There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure." The young girl thought that ADHD was her downfall. She felt that she could not achieve academically, that they had to put her on medication and have to meet with special teachers to help her in school. This young girl's confidence started to dim away. It got to the point where the young girl hid her medicine and would not take it. This young girl became very depressed until her math teacher enlightened her on the story and how she could continue to be successful in her endeavors. This was the start of the young girl's love and appreciation for the EC department. Miss Allison B. Thomas was an important influence in this young student's life. Ms. Thomas enlightened this young girl about her struggles and how she should not let her learning disability stop her from being successful. The EC department services were not there to crush her, but to enhance what she already had in her. If you didn't know by now, this same young girl stands before you today. For 6 years, TMSA has been a 6-year trial experience for me. Growing with this school, I've been able to learn lessons academically as well as in life. Along the way, I've been fortunate to meet God to help me compass me in the right direction. If it wasn't for the love and support from people like Mr. Middleman, Ms. Jackson, Ms. Nelms, Ms. Dawes, Ms. Bertel, Ms. Lanham, Ms. Smiley, Ms. Outlaw, Ms. Palmook, Ms. Favreau, Mr. Smith, and Mr. T, I would not stand in front of you today graduating with a 3.1 GPA, receiving acceptances to all 19 schools I applied to, and over $50,000 in scholarship, and over 400 hours of community service. Every graduate here at TMSA has grown in many different ways. It is up to us to continue the history here at TMSA. Physically, we are leaving TMSA, but the experiences, friendships, and opportunities will never leave. This class started with 45 students who took a chance on a brand new school. Now, TMSA took a chance on 5 remaining students to build a school and leave a legacy for students like Ms. Ernst's first graders to have the same opportunities we were given. Class of 2019, it is up to us to continue to tell our friends and families the experiences we've had at TMSA and come back as professional doctors, engineers, astronauts, teachers, entrepreneurs, veterinarians, basketball players, plumbers, and Congress members. TMSA has equipped us with the knowledge and tools to succeed. It is up to us to use them. Congratulations to my fellow classmates on our future endeavors, and thank you, TMSA, for allowing me to have 6 years, the best years of my life. Now we will have our salutatorian, Nikita Falenka.
Teachers, families, friends, we made it, and what a journey it has been. We have successfully completed 12 years of school, and we'll be leaving this venue as young adults. Our school struggles, worries, stress, all of it is finally coming to an end until we start college and it starts all over again. However, now is not the time to worry about that. It is time to celebrate our accomplishments, as well as those of the school. To do so, I would like to briefly lay out my TMSA adventure. My journey at TMSA began 7 years ago, and as is commonly the case with 6th graders, I wasn't really given much of a choice as to whether to attend or not. The school was in downtown Raleigh and was a relatively small 2-story right next to the Marbles Kids Museum. If anything, that meant that the Marbles outside play area was open to us, and I got to drink hot chocolate there during my trigonometry club, so I was rather thrilled about the location. Being its first year, the school functioned rather smoothly now that I look back. We had clubs, and I'm a proud Math Olympiad participant, numerous events at the school, great teachers, some of which are still present to this day. Field trips, everything a 6th grader could love and expect from a place he spends a third of his day in. I also have some interesting memories from 6th grade, like how I got so excited in Spanish class that I broke a chair, how we used to make smoothies in the aforementioned trigonometry club, or how I got a B for a grass growing project. That aside, 6th grade went by well, and next year we were informed that the school is moving to a new location where it is today. I have trouble differentiating between 7th and 8th grade, but those were the 2 years where the school began to firmly establish itself in the new building. I would say roughly 2/3 of what is at the school now was virtually non-existent. No cafeteria, no auditorium, no gym, no lockers, no labs. The whole high school wing was under construction. We were in a relatively limited space and had to improvise. For example, our current library was our gym for some time. However, this was also the year where we began to seriously expand our extracurriculars and their out-of-school involvement. Science Olympiad, Math Olympiad, and my favorite, Chess Club, are the clubs I participated in, and they began competing in out-of-school tournaments. We had some praiseworthy achievements, and for a newly established school, did very well in my opinion. From there, we only grew. These years were also when NJHS was established, of which I was at first arrival, being president of a different club with similar functions, and therefore engaging in friendly competition. However, that club was unfortunately disbanded, and I was invited into NJHS, an invitation I gladly accepted. Next is high school life. I will not go into too much detail, as most of you were present for a significant portion of it. And another reason is because, I must confess, the years went by so fast, I once more have a hard time differentiating between the different grades. 9th and 10th grade was a blast. Most of the new facilities have been completed, including the gym, and our high school life began. More freedom to choose classes, more interesting subjects, and of course, even more new clubs, such as Model UN, NHS, DECA, and others. 11th grade introduced a massive change. Dual enrollment was offered by our school. For me, this was a blessing, and I'm sure many of our seniors can say the same. This was an opportunity to gain more advanced insight into our interests, to take classes not offered by the school. Not only was dual enrollment fully supported by the school, we students were also accommodated as necessary and were provided ample time to study in our secondary school or college. I sincerely thank TMSA for encouraging and providing such a wonderful opportunity for our students to grow and expand our knowledge on our interests. Before continuing, I would like to briefly talk about the clubs I have mentioned earlier. The club that is most notable for me personally was Model UN. This club is what sparked a political interest in me and was so excited I am left wondering for more. Each of the 4 years the club existed, we participated in the Duke Model United Nations Conference, and all 4 committees I participated in were terrific. The first was Castro's cabinet, where we were Cuban officials and had to ally ourselves with either the US or Russia during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Thankfully, that was an easy choice, as the US ambassador to Cuba was killed by a pipe bomb in our secret nuclear bunker. The next committee was the Sino-Soviet Committee, which was not originally assigned to me. We were, however, allowed to trade committees, and with some incentive, as is the Soviet nature, I attained the committee. Then we nuked China, but let's move on. Third year was the Catalonian Committee, where I was Infanta Elena and wore a charming tiara. By the end of it, I was declared Queen of Catalonia in Spain and also presided over a marriage between 2 high-ranking officials. The last was a committee focusing on the International Court of Justice, where I was the Kenyan and American ambassador, and I'm happy to say that the 2 countries represented both won their cases. NHS 2 was highly fruitful. We have raised money for disaster relief, organized school-wide activities such as a cultural festival, which has been a success for multiple years. As an NJHS/NHS member of 5 years, I am proud of what this club has become, and I have full faith in the members remaining to continue what we seniors have started. Our clubs have also grown to achieve great things. Science Olympiad has gone further this year than in any previous years, and it makes me proud to see what they have achieved that we couldn't back in middle school. DECA also received numerous awards, top 10s and first places, and has grown to become one of the largest clubs in our school, if it is not yet the largest. We seniors are the pioneers of the school. We are the first to graduate. We were always the top grade in school. We have left a path for others to follow, as well as advice on how to create their own. We have begun the long chain of achievements in extracurriculars and academics. We are the guinea pigs that were the first to experience most of what the school has to offer, and the school learned that evolved from us. TMSA helped us grow, and we in turn did the same for TMSA. And so we stand here today, the first graduating class, the pioneers, the guinea pigs, the seniors of TMSA. We stand here in conclusion of our high school journey and only months away from the next big step. It was not only through our efforts that we made it thus far. We received help from all around, our teachers, our counselors, our families, our friends. I want to thank all of you. Thank you, teachers, for helping us grow, for staying by our sides for all these years, and also for putting up with all the hard times we gave you. Thank you, counselors, for tirelessly working by our sides, for ceaselessly answering the never-ending flow of questions, and for helping us get into college. Thank you, parents, siblings, families, for supporting us, for driving us to school for at least half of high school, for being by our side, sharing our pain, worries, stress. Thank you, friends, peers, for the wonderful years, the splendid memories, and for keeping me sane when I felt like I was about to lose it. And thank you, Triangle Math and Science Academy, for being a part of my life for 7 years and for helping me grow to become who I am now. I would like to conclude with some Soviet wisdom. There is no I in TMSA, there is only we. There is no my or your individual graduation, it is ours. Thank you. I yield my time to the chair. At this time, I welcome our valedictorian, Zara Hassan, to the podium.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. No person knows what he will earn tomorrow. The Holy Quran, chapter 31, verse 34. Today is a joyous day as we sit here starry-eyed and nervous for what's to come in the future. But let this day be a day of celebration for all the work we've done in the past that has allowed us to get to this point. So first and foremost, let's make some noise for the very first graduating class of Triangle Math and Science Academy. I'd also like to take a moment to thank my parents. While their gas money was very much appreciated for driving an hour back and forth every single day for 4 years through that 440 traffic during rush hour, it's their constant love and support that I will forever be grateful for. I'd like to thank my teachers for teaching me logarithmic equations, stoichiometry, and other very useful things that I'll definitely be integrating into my daily life. My friends for making school just a little bit less miserable, and of course, how could I forget admin for always getting on me for my dress code violations? Hey, Mr. T, how are you? We can laugh at these things now because we've endured the hard work and struggles to get to this point. But to remind you all, it was 4 years and 7 math teachers ago, on the very first day of freshman year when that car in the parking lot caught on fire, which I've come to find out was Miss Favreau's car. And can we just take a moment to say, I am so glad you didn't just quit right then and there, like half of us wouldn't even be graduating without all your recommendation letters. It was that day we walked through all one singular hallway of the high school known as Triangle Math and Science Academy, scared and frightened, so nervous, but also feeling kind of cool because we were the oldest, not knowing that it would come with so much responsibility. It was that day we would have our first experience with that torture device known as Wordly Wise, and would eat lunch in the cafeteria, or whatever you would call that place. I'm listing these things to remind us that we really did start from the bottom. But through all the obstacles we may have experienced, we have paved the way and created a legacy for the school that will last long after we are gone. There's a proverb that says, "A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in." It's hard to have faith in that when we have to shove and elbow each other in the hallway between classes, or when the baseball and soccer teams have to go off campus to practice. It's hard to see progress when it still feels like you're at the starting line, but it's important to remember that the impacts of our efforts will not be seen and acknowledged immediately. From the moment we stepped foot inside the school, we began leaving our mark. 4 years is relatively such a short period of time, but we have already achieved and accomplished so much. From placing at nationals at DECA and Science Olympiad, to the basketball team winning the conference, to National Honor Society hosting a cultural fair with so many students that it filled up the entire front entrance. Now, don't get me wrong, I get that it's quite a scary path to walk on when you have no one's past experience to lean on or to learn from. It's new and it's scary, but nothing is finished unless it's been started. And that's why it takes hard work and courage to be that new competitor. From DECA to Science Olympiad to HOSA to traditional sporting events. To face your competitor who's been playing the game longer than you have. To look them in the eye and to fight with your greatest energy. To sometimes lose, but to get right back up and fight again. That's a battle that every single one of us have fought, whether it's been big or small. And though we may not realize it now, but it's this very grit and perseverance that is crucial to building a strong foundation for not only the school, but for ourselves and our own personal character development. And that's what we have done. Although our high school career is finally coming to an end with graduating, some of us barely graduating, y'all know who you are, this is only the beginning of the future of this school and also of our lives. I see y'all smiling, y'all know who you are. Through being the guinea pigs who have become all too familiar with that trial and error process, we have built up a thick skin and made for ourselves an armor of resilience and strength that is unfaltered by the obstacles we know the real world has in store for us. It's a skill that one can't learn in the classroom and puts us at an advantage over students who have gone to schools where the paths have already been paved for them. I say with pride that we didn't have things handed to us, and what we have accomplished and achieved has been possible through endless hours of hard work and dedication, guidance and support from amazing teachers and parents and staff who never let us give up, even though we might have wanted to. They believed in our potential and our abilities when we felt like we had no chance, and they're the ones that made this school truly a community and a family. So 10 years from now, when we're settled into our lives and careers, being successful teachers, engineers, astronauts, politicians, athletes, loving mothers, loving fathers, or if you're Indian, you're probably still going to be in med school, we can look back and see that yes, we most definitely made a difference. So even though the finish line is so far away, I ask you all to look back with me and notice the tremendous progress we have made and realize we're so much farther from the starting line. I began today with the verse, "No person knows what he will earn tomorrow." And although we may be nervous about that level of uncertainty regarding what tomorrow will hold, with the backbone, experience, and resilience we all have, I believe that success is inevitable for each and every one of us. So bring it on. Thank you once again for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you all as TMSA's first ever valedictorian. I know that every person given this privilege after me will be even brighter, with even higher aspirations, even greater ambition. Their speech might not be as good as mine, but I think I set the bar pretty high, so. Now it's my honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Chad Porter.
Good morning. So those were my notes and the flowers, so I'm just going to wing it. No, I'm just kidding. They're not. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Wow, the first class, huh? No pressure. You know what that means, right? That you have to be absolutely perfect for the rest of your life. That good? Because everybody's going to be looking at you. So when I started thinking about what I wanted to talk about, and I am very, very humbled to be here to be your first graduating class speaker. I started looking up, inspirational quotes, and things like that. So this is one I came up with. If you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bobby Inc. No. So I have one question for all the graduates really quickly. Who here has it all figured out? I love it. Now, turn your heads around to your parents and families. Parents and families, who here has it all figured out? Okay, there are a few liars, especially the two in the back. Nobody has it all figured out, trust me. I know that you think that you probably should. You're supposed to have all of these amazing things that you're shooting for, and you should have goals and things, but listen, nobody figures it all out. You'll never figure it all out, so don't worry about that part of it. So I did have it all figured out. When I was 15 years old, if you asked me what the rest of my life would look like, I could tell you exactly what it was going to look like. I was going to be on a professional football field at some point in time. I was already starting to be recruited as a 15-year-old to go play college football for Division I. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. There was nothing that was going to stop me. I had all the tools in the world to go and do it. I was a professional water skier during the summers. I would ski and travel all lakes all over the states and speak and do these amazing acts, barefoot, ramp jumping, comedy acts, all of these amazing things. I was very focused. I knew exactly what I wanted. You couldn't divert me one bit. So the summer of 1991, please don't do the math. I know you're probably pretty good at math, a lot better than I am. But I was 15 years old at the time, and we were invited to go do a ski show at Little Tucker Lake. So if you take I-40 all the way towards Wilmington, as soon as you cross over 95, there's a little tiny lake on the left-hand side. Now, this lake had never had boats on it before, ever, but they wanted to hire a ski team to go do this ski show. So we packed up everything we had and went to this ski show that day, and the whole show went absolutely perfectly. We did some crazy things, big, huge jumps. We had guys jumping off of towers as tall as these balconies, landing in the water, barefooting across the lake. I mean, it was pretty amazing. Now, all the acts were done by kids, and so at 15 years old, I was pretty proud of what we were doing, and the last act of the day is a pyramid where we stand on top of each other's shoulders and we ski around the lake, and you may have seen it in Jaws 3 if you've seen Jaws 3 before. We chase around the pyramid, and so we were doing this last act, but right before it started, there was a really dark storm cloud that started building up over top of the lake, and we could hear the thunder and see the lightning flashing, and we were trying to hurry, and so we did the last act. I was one of the bases of the pyramid. We went around the lake a couple times. The girls and the boys climbed down, and we got into the back of the boat. The boat comes back toward shore. And we all jump out of the back of the boat. We are stoked. We killed the show. It was amazing. We're high-fiving, big smiles on our faces, ready to get back to home so that we can enjoy the rest of the summer and do other ski shows. The next 2 seconds of that day changed my life forever. My life will never be the same again. My family's, everyone that was there that day. It's just one of those moments in your life where you think everything is just amazing, and then all of a sudden in an instant everything changes. And it happened that way for me. And I'll tell you, because when I tell you it changed my life forever, that sounds pretty dramatic. And they're like, oh, settle down, Chad. It can't be that bad, right? So let me explain to you what happened. The two dads were in the boat trying to clean up everything. There was 9 ski ropes and 10 skis in the boat. There was a lot going on. There was a lot of wind blowing now because the storm's getting closer and closer. We're not the smartest in the world. We're athletes, right? So anyway, so we know that lightning and water doesn't mix. So we're trying to get out of the water and hurry up. And the two dads, and us kids aren't helping at all. The two dads are trying to get everything. So the dad standing up in the boat realized really immediately that something wasn't right. And he realized the boat was still moving. So he yelled at the driver. The driver knows he had it in neutral. He knew it wasn't moving, and he yelled at the driver, turn off the boat, it's going in reverse. He knew there were 9 kids standing behind the boat walking back to shore that just finished the pyramid. It startled the driver. The driver spun around in the driver's seat to turn the key off, and before he could hit the key, his elbow hit the throttle. It pulled that throttle completely into reverse. This boat went from 0 to wide open, racing towards shore with 9 kids between it and shore. It happened so fast. If you've ever been on a boat before and it started moving before you're ready, you can lose your balance pretty easily. They lost their balance, fell down into the boat. They couldn't control it, couldn't slow it down, couldn't turn it off, can't do anything. Something was going to have to eventually stop the boat. I tried my best. No, I didn't try. I never even saw it coming. I mean, I had my back to the boat. I never knew what was happening. But for some reason, I did react, and I dove down to the bottom, thinking if I went to the bottom of the lake, everything that was happening I'd be okay from. And that's not the worst plan in the world, except I was in waist-deep water. And when I dove forward, the boat went right over top of me. That propeller, it's got about a 450 horsepower engine in the middle of this boat. It's very, very powerful. That prop spins and creates a lot of suction, a lot of turbulence. The boat went right over top of me. The suction grabbed me, pulled me right to the propeller, and just started chopping me up, hitting me over and over and over again. I couldn't get away. It kept throwing me around like a rag doll underneath the boat. I kept trying to pull away, and it would suck me right back and continue to hit me. I was just along for the ride. I finally ran into the shore and hit another boat. They turned off the boat, and I pulled myself out from underneath the boat. My best friend Michael's 18 years old, your age. He watches me come out of the water, and he's got this big goofy smile on his face. He's just so happy to see me. Oh my God, there you are, you know? And so he grabs me and starts to pull me out. I said, Michael, it got my legs. He says, everything's gonna be fine. So he picks me up and starts to lift me up out of the water, and I had to look down to see what happened. And when I looked down, the first leg came up out of the water, the right leg, and I saw it. The best way to describe it to you, it looked like somebody took a stick of dynamite, put it inside the leg, and exploded it from the inside out. Completely filleted wide open, 3 or 4 bones sticking up in the air. It was, I got more details if you want. I mean, it was pretty, you get it. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. And the pain is crazy, and they're working on me on the dock, and they're trying to fix everything, and they're trying to stop the bleeding, and they're trying to, get all of these things together. The helicopter's trying to land. It can't land because of the storms to come and take me to the hospital. And so I'm starting to try to make sense of everything because I'm controlling. Who here is controlling? There will be a hand on every person in this building up in the air. Because now you can point at the people who weren't raising their hands because they're controlling. The people that raise their hands are probably over-controlling. That's a whole nother situation. But I'm trying to control my situation. I'm trying to, it's 10 weeks to heal. They can put it back together. I've had injuries before. I could still play 3 years of football in high school. Then I got college, and I got pro after that. Nothing was going to stop me. I'm starting to feel okay. I'm starting to try to, okay, I can do this. It could be so much worse. The next thing out of someone's mouth was, we got to get a mask and snorkel, see if we can find his foot. What I didn't realize was when they lifted me out of the water, I didn't see the left foot when they picked me up, and the reason why is because it's cut off and it's lost in the lake and they can't find it. I immediately went from control to somebody knock me out, somebody take me out. They took me to the first hospital. Thank God nobody took medical advice from a 15-year-old that day, because don't knock somebody out if they're begging for it, even if they're begging for it. It wasn't, just being awake was the only thing keeping me alive. They took me to the first hospital, worked on me, airlifted me to Duke, spent about a month in the hospital. not able to reattach a leg. I get to wear this cool little chrome leg. I found a place online called Pimp My Leg. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's not the name of it. But I'm waiting for the subwoofer to come in. No, but the right leg completely torn all up. It's bone sticking out here, bone sticking out here, split all the way down. I got ashy. I'm sorry. I should have lotioned this morning. I was in a rush. Sorry. Oh God, I can't get it down. Okay. So I spent about a month in the hospital just trying to just going through surgery after surgery after surgery, trying to get where I could, just figure out life. But there was one night in the hospital, 3.5 weeks in, I just watched this videotape that was supposed to inspire me. It was a videotape of amputees playing basketball. It was supposed to just inspire me, show me that I can still do things, but it did the opposite for me. In the South, we have this saying called bless your heart. Y'all know that saying? And it's not always a compliment. If I said, hey, have you seen Sarah's hair today? Bless her heart. It's not a compliment to Sarah, is it? Okay? If there's a Sarah in the audience, you look good, I promise you. But bless their hearts, they barely ran, they barely jumped. They look like one-legged people trying to play basketball. I don't know what I thought I was going to see, but it just completely wrecked me. That night, I stayed alone in the hospital. My first night ever staying alone in the hospital. First night ever, I cried. Because every other day I had a mask on my face that I'll show you what the mask looks like. It wasn't Halloween or an extra mask. This is what it looked like. Y'all know that face? That's that face when you wear to school, when everything in your world is going the wrong way, but you don't want anybody to know about it. And I wore that mask on my face I was so good at it. But it was the first night there was nobody in my room, nobody staying along with me, and so I cried for the first time. And it wasn't a normal cry, it was like middle school breakup cry. You don't know what that feels like, right? It's devastating. Like, you're never going to get over that, right? You'll get over it. You won't even remember their names. Anyway, I'm just being honest with you. Bless their hearts. But I cried. And I broke down, and I blamed everybody in the world, man. I was just distraught. And I asked one question 1,000 times that night. What do you think I asked? Whoa, were y'all there? That's pretty awesome. Everybody said the same thing, because we got to know why things happen. We all said the same thing. I asked it 1,000 times that night, and I finally got to the point where I said, I have to make a decision. I got two choices, and it doesn't matter what you have to deal with in your life and what you go through and the challenges that are put in front of you, you're going to have two choices. You can quit if you want to and give up. That's definitely a choice. Or you can fight. Now, I will tell you that for me, quitting just wasn't an option, but it is the easiest option. It will always be the easiest way out. But I can promise you everything in my life that I have ever fought for has been worth it. But here is the key. Whenever you get into those positions, whenever those things start to happen to you, whenever you feel like you cannot go any further, you cannot do anything else, you got a choice to make. You just stop, or you just keep fighting. You won't win all the time, I promise you that, but with the right attitude, you'll never lose. You'll either win or you'll learn and you'll grow. And I decided that night I was going to fight. And I didn't care what it was going to take. I had low expectations, but I fought every little step of the way. And here's what's important, especially right now in your lives, because it's hard to think way down the road and say, I want to, you might have some dreams. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. But how in the world am I ever going to get there? You don't have to take the big steps. You just take little steps along the way and keep moving forward, and you can see further and further and further and further. So you don't have to take those big steps. Don't worry about it. Just keep leaning forward no matter what happens. So I did, and that led me. I ended up playing 2 years of varsity basketball for my high school with an artificial leg. And I don't say that to brag, but I was one of the first people in the entire country to play competitive sports with an artificial leg, because technology wasn't where it is today. Today, people are doing amazing. What I can do with this thing is unreal. But back then, it was just one of those things. And when I played basketball, and even in high school, as confident and as cocky as I was, my 9th grade year, MVP of the basketball team, MVP of the football team, scored every touchdown we scored that entire season for the football team. We were a terrible football team, so that is not that great of an accomplishment. But I went from the cockiest kid in school to scared to death to walk in the doors my 10th grade year because I was now different than everyone else. It's a hard feeling. It's a bad feeling. But I just used that to fuel my fire to keep going. So when I played basketball, I still wore long pants to school. I was still self-conscious about my legs and everything, and I tried to cover them up. And in playing basketball, you can't wear jeans. It's just not allowed. You got to wear a uniform. So I was the goofy white boy back in the 90s that wore high socks. Nobody wore high socks when I played basketball. I covered up all my scars. They didn't want anybody to see them. I covered up now I didn't have this crazy wild leg that I have today. I had one that had skin and foam, looked like a real leg, shaped identical to the other leg. So I wore high socks to cover the whole leg all the way up to the knee brace. So looking at me, you couldn't tell the difference between the legs at all. Nobody knew that I had an artificial leg unless you were from my hometown. Because I ran as fast as everyone else, jumped as high as everyone else, so nobody had any idea. Except for one night we were playing the Southern Pines and I jumped up for a rebound and I threw it out for a fast break and I fell underneath the goal. Got up, ran again, fell again. Could not go anywhere. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? Somebody put butter on the court. I don't know what happened, and I couldn't go anywhere. And I realized what had been promised to me, Chad, you cannot break your prosthesis. They're unbreakable. You never break them. There's nothing, you can do anything in the world you want to on them. This thing was snapped right in two, and I've broken 15 of them since I started wearing them. They don't like me very much because I try to do it right before the warranty goes out, so they have to give me a free one. But this thing was broken in two, but you can't see anything. Now, they don't bleed when they break. They don't hurt when they break. So I got up and I'm starting to hop back to the bench. I'm just trying to get back to the bench. And now everybody's looking at me. The play has finally stopped, and all of a sudden people are screaming. People are running out of the gym. Babies are crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening, And I got about halfway to the bench and I look back and this leg about mid-shin is hanging straight down and doing 360s. And it looks just like a real leg, and nobody in this gym knows it's not a real leg. And it is just the goriest, it's bending in places legs aren't supposed to bend. And like the other teammates are running, the other team is running, just get on the ground, man, lay down on the ground, just get down. But nobody would touch it, right? Because it's like, oh, that's so gross. Just get down on the ground. My teammates are laughing the whole time. They look like the worst people on earth, trust me, but it was pretty funny looking back, right? Oh my goodness. But I'll tell you just a few things that I want to leave you with today, that you're going to go through some challenges. I know you've been through some, and I know that you've overcome some amazing things to get to where you are today, and it doesn't stop. I wish I could just tell you right now, you know what? Now that you're done with high school, it's just a breeze. Parents, am I right? This is maybe one of the easiest, best fun times, except for the next step. It's a lot of fun too. I would tell you to enjoy each step of the way as you go. You guys are brilliant, way smarter than I ever was. But enjoy the moments as you go along. Don't work so hard to the point that you can't enjoy life along the way, because you never know when that moment's going to come where it's not going to be there anymore. There's nothing guaranteed at all. Today is all you got. You got a breath, you got a chance. I don't care what's happened in the past. I don't care what you've gone through. It's over with. You got to leave it behind. You got to move on. You got to learn from it and just keep going forward. You can't worry about that stuff in the past. Your jobs as leaders, which is exactly what you are, you're adults now. Your parents are ready to kick you out of the house, trust me. But they're going to pay probably for a little bit longer for you. But leaders don't try to make other people believe in them. Your job is to make other people believe in themselves. People ask me all the time, if you could give my son or my daughter just one piece of advice, I'm like, oh my God, there's like a million pieces of advice I could, give. But if I could tell you one, I'm going to tell you two things. One is control the things that you can control. There are so many things in this world that you will not be able to control. There are so many things that happen that you'll have little or no control over. Don't worry about those things. Control you, control your attitude, control the choices that you make. Those are the things that you can control. So worry about those things. And the last thing is, I know that there's some brilliant people. You guys are going to make bukus of money doing whatever it is that you want to do. But life is not about how much you accumulate. It's about how much you give. So I want you to give and give and give and give as much as you can. And I'm so proud of you.
At this time, we would like to invite the class of 2019 to move to the stage to begin the recognition of graduates.
Albatul Abanuar. Yusuf Abu Aline. Salma Adam. Jonathan Enikama. We would like to congratulate Shivani Ayagari, who is currently overseas. Congratulations to Shivani. Bernadette Bianes. Firdaz Benegi. Samuel Broadwell. Matthew Crow. Sarah Dolly. Sheena Dean. Kayla Devia. Jacob Driggers. Doyen Uring. Alan Ferris. Michelle Fiacci. Nikita Felinko. Anthony Ford. Hamdi Hashi. Zara Hassan. Navitha Karunakaran. Malcolm Kemp. Chase Lee. Michael Lidovez. Sean Malone. Miriam Mogul. Samya Nenavati. Soham Nenavati. Chidama Okafor. Ayush Patel. Ian Polito. Matthew Polito. Tara Rahman. Elias Ramos. David Roger. Amra Samora. David Schmidt. Catherine Schwer. Ian Scott. Christine Tan. Duncan Wall.
We have one of our students who moved to Azerbaijan, who came all the way down to here just to be with this graduating group. visiting us today, and that is Umman Alizadeh. She would have been with this group. Class of 2019, on behalf of the state of North Carolina, I declare you graduates of Triangle Math and Science Academy. At this time, please move your tassels to the left. Guests, please show your respect to this amazing class one more time. Thank you again. Thank you again for sharing this special day with us. Graduates, congratulations.